Well, we're back. Here we are. We're speaking legal with Will Worsham. So, welcome. And what do we got on our mind today? I hear that somewhere in one of the southeast states or the southern states here, eastern, whatever.
Kentucky.
Yeah. I hear that the governor is proposing to either permanently or temporarily close churches, period.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that because there's a little bit of misinformation about that. So what they did is they said, listen, in-person is prohibited in the state of Kentucky because of stay-at-home orders,
right,
because of social distancing rules, social gathering rules, and of course this is Easter Sunday we just had, and so churches were wanting to have services. Now, almost all the churches around here, every church that I really know of has gone virtual and did that weeks ago. And so like for my church, that was no big deal. We'd been planning to be virtual anyway, but there were some churches, at least one I guess, in Kentucky that said, nope, we're having in-person services. And I know there were some churches, I know at least one here locally, they were having drive-up services. So people would drive up and stay in their car. So they would be maintaining social distance.
Right.
But the governor of Kentucky was not satisfied by that, and he said that we're going to not allow that in either scenario, and said essentially he was sending the state highway patrol out, that they were going to be going to church parking lots, writing down license plate numbers and ticketing cars for violating, essentially, I would assume, a stay-at-home order in Kentucky. Now, I'm not familiar with Kentucky's stay-at-home orders. I haven't looked at all that. But that seems to be what it was, and churches said, we're doing it anyway. And then, at least at one of those churches, people scattered nails in the parking lot in order to prevent them from being able to do that. Now, I perfectly understand, if you got a stay-at-home order, that's one thing. If you've got a social distancing rule, that's another thing. If you've got a limitation on social gathering, that's yet another issue. So we've got about 3 different issues we're dealing with. All of this collides smack dab in the middle with our First Amendment right to assembly, for freedom of religion, and free speech.
Right, and so I hear that temporarily those rights have been suspended. Well, that's true under the circumstances. Wouldn't you say?
Well, you know, we're not going to have the answer to that question for a while.
A while now.
Because ultimately the courts have to decide what the appropriate interpretation of all those laws are. Now, we have seen repeatedly through history, and it's a well-settled legal fact, that laws for sure, and sometimes even constitutional rights, can be restricted because of overwhelming public need. And so that's what we're seeing here. Is we're saying, listen, we know we've got a First Amendment right to assemble. We know we've got a First Amendment right to free speech. We know we've got a First Amendment right to the free exercise of religion. However, we have a pandemic. And so we're going to have to restrict some of those constitutional rights because of overwhelming public need. Now, the United States Attorney General said, no, we're not going to restrict those rights. People still have the right to practice free religion. So he's now at odds. The federal Attorney General is at odds with this governor in Kentucky. And we don't know what's going to happen. It's going to have to be fought out in court, and probably will be, because they did issue tickets in Kentucky. So when they try to prosecute those people that went to church for that in Kentucky, their defense is going to be, no, we have a constitutional right. If they're found guilty at the trial court level, which they probably will be, that will be appealed in Kentucky. It'll be appealed in the federal courts as well.
I don't know. That seems a little irresponsible on that pastor's part. There's an easier way to solve this problem. You know, do a drive-up church, do something.
Well, see, that's the thing. In Kentucky, they were prohibiting the drive-up churches as well, because they're saying we have a stay-at-home order, so you can't even drive to the church. Wow. So it's all a little ticky-tack, probably on both sides. Wow. But
the times have changed.
They certainly have.
How do we get a hold of you?
Hey, you can call me at 863-9455. That's our office, or on the web at willworsham.com.
We'll see you next week.